Donicia, I have a D in my class. Like, there is no way that this is going to be turning into something great. Hey everyone, so I know Thanksgiving break is over and a lot of you are probably back at school or preparing for classes tomorrow, and the time is coming where things are going to get a little stressful and finals are coming, and it's the last 3 weeks of school, at least for me, well, last 3 weeks of the semester, and it can get a little scary. So in this video I want to have some encouragement for all of you to know that you don't need to be worrying. I know it's the last couple of weeks of the semester. Basically, this video is not to tell you that you're not going to fail or that you're not going to get that grade, but pretty much to just encourage you, to remind you that God has brought you to this place and He is going to see you through. Now, you might not get the grade that you want in that class. You might not get that A, you might not get that B, and you might not even get that C. But all I'm saying is that just trust and know that if God has placed you at the school that you are at, if God has placed that desire in your heart, you don't need to worry about not doing well in the class. You don't need to worry about possibly not passing the class, because at the end of the day, you are going to make it in what He has shared with you. So if He has shared with you that you are going to be a pharmacist, then you need to trust and believe that that is where you're going to be. You need to trust and know that God is leading and directing you exactly where you need to be. In a post that I had shared a couple weeks back, it was basically just saying like God is your GPS. And what I meant by that is I was driving to Trader Joe's one day and I was like, okay, I don't feel like going the regular route. So I put in the GPS to go somewhere. And I was like, where's the GPS taking me? I was like, I'm not going that way. And I decided to go another route, but it actually took longer than the route the GPS was saying, but I eventually made it to my destination. And this is how things are with God. God is our GPS. There are sometimes He's taking us down a route and we know where we're supposed to be going, but we're just like, God, this doesn't look right. This doesn't look the right way. And we try to go our own route. And that own route could be anxiety, it could be fear, it could be depression, it could be of thinking that we're not going to get to where we need to be. But God is just like, listen, I'm your GPS. Regardless of what happens, I'm going to lead and direct you exactly where you need to go. It takes a little longer though when you take your own route. Let me say that again. It takes a little longer when you take your own route. So trust that God is leading you where you need to go. God has beautiful plans for our life. So we don't ever need to feel like for a second that He isn't orchestrating that for us. But what I do want to encourage you to do is to surrender that fear and to surrender that anxiety and to surrender all of that you're holding on to because you're scared that you're not going to make it through, but you are. Now, I know that grades are important, especially if you're in pharmacy school or grad school or just in school in general. Grades can be very important, and finals are like crunch time. It's just like you need to get certain grades in order to get that A, B, or C in the class that you need. But I don't even want you to think about that. These next couple of weeks, what I want you to do is I want you to have confidence in God. I want you to have confidence in Him, knowing that He is the one that has placed that desire in your heart. He is the one that has placed you where you are, so you don't need to worry about not succeeding. You don't need to worry about not getting your degree. You don't need to worry about that. Sometimes that path can be a little longer, but God is our GPS. He's the one that knows the path that we need to take. You'll be like, God, why are we on this path? This path is longer. This path is unfamiliar. What am I doing on this route? But God is already at the finish line and He already knows why we need to be going on that route. So sometimes that route may mean that you don't pass the class, or you have to retake a class, or sometimes that route means that you will get that C instead of that A. But at the end of the day, you're going to make it to your destination. That's really what I'm trying to hit in this video, is that regardless of how you feel, regardless of what situation you are in, regardless of how your grades are looking, you are going to make it to your destination. And I want you to believe that, because if you don't believe it, you're not going to be encouraged or motivated to do anything. If you don't believe it, you're not going to want to study, you're not going to want to go to class, you're not going to want to do anything because you're already accepting that failure. Don't accept that failure. Don't accept it, because God has such a beautiful plan for your life. And I really want to encourage you to keep going, keep pushing through. I don't care if you have an F in a class right now, keep pushing. Work hard, go to class, study hard, be in the library, be all up in the library. Go to office hours, go to tutoring. I know it's like Tani said, but it's the last 3 weeks. Like, it's not going to help. Yes, it can. Just work your hardest until the end. The reason why I can be so calm, because I'm in that situation right now still. There's a class right now that I think I have like a C minus in, and I'm just like, Lord, I don't know what's gonna happen, but like, I'm just surrendering everything to him, because at the end of the day, he is the one that has my plan set out, and all I have to do is just follow him. And that's what I'm going to do these next couple of weeks. Instead of getting to moments of getting stressed out or freaking out or being like, oh my gosh, like I can't do it all. No, but just have a smile on your face, have that determination, that motivation to keep going, and be like, no, I am going to get through this. I am going to be perfectly fine. And Jesus is working everything out for me. So I do not need to worry. I do not need to fret. So, for those of you in school and it's the last couple of weeks, I just seriously want to motivate you, encourage you, and I challenge you to just trust in God and have that confidence in Him, and know that He is the one that has the plans for your life, that you don't need to worry about anything. I don't care what the status of your grades are. I really don't. He doesn't either. Because he knows that he's bringing you to where he needs to be. And if you trust him, it just makes the process all that much easier. So trust God with literally everything. And I want you guys to meditate on this verse. This literally came to me as I was setting up the camera. Let me find it. Okay, never mind. The verse that I thought of is not what I thought it was. Okay, but this other verse came up while looking for it, so maybe this is even better. This is also good. So meditate on this verse, and I'm going to do the same too throughout these next couple of weeks, so that I really know to just trust God with everything. In Galatians 6 verse 9, it says, so let's not get tired of doing what is good. At just the right time, we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't give up. So what I like with that verse is just like, let's not give up. Let's not get tired of studying. Let's not get tired of going to class. Let's not get tired of doing all of that or being a student, because I know it is exhausting, and I know that you just want to get home and get some rest. But let's keep going. If we endure to the end, God is seriously going to come through with his promise, but we cannot give up. How I remember is just always to be thankful, and sometimes we can get to a point of getting so overwhelmed, getting just so anxious, and just getting so stressed out that we forget at how excited we were when God gave us our acceptance letter, when we got that letter in the mail, and we were so overjoyed, and that we were so excited. We were just like, yes, I'm going to be the best student ever. I'm going to work hard and be in the library 24/7. And then halfway through the semester, you're struggling. But let's not forget about that. Let's not forget about that joy and that happiness and excitement that we had when we got our acceptance into the school that we are, into the program that we're doing. Let's be reminded that God is seriously faithful. He is faithful to get us in here, and he's going to be faithful for us to finish. So let's not get weary now, but let's keep going. Let's keep pushing through, knowing that he is the one who is leading and guiding us. So I know that this is like probably the hardest time, and this is really a time where we can struggle. I know that it's very easy during this time to fall into fear, to fall into anxiety, to fall into depression, and all of that, but let's not give into that. Instead, let us just be thankful and joyous, and know that God has already worked out all of the problems. God has already worked out all of our finals. He already did that. He's already there, he already did it, and it is already done. So let's just trust and know that regardless of what happens, you are going to be okay. Like, if anything else, just know that you are going to be okay, It's not the end of the world if you don't get that grade that you wanted. So that's pretty much all I wanted to share. I really hope that this video was helpful, and I hope that you are encouraged by it. Please, please, please be motivated, be encouraged, and just rest assured in God's promises, because his promises never turn out void. So trust and believe him, especially on the nights when you just feel like quitting and you want to give up. Just know that God is there. He is with you. He is in your heart. And if you just surrender all of that to him, he will continue to guide and lead you. So that's pretty much it. All the best these next couple of weeks. I really, really, really am praying for all of you guys. And pray for me too, because it gets hard. I know. I'm a student. I understand it gets hard. So just trust him. Pray for me. I'm praying for y'all. And all the best these next couple of weeks. I am thinking about doing a live video to answer like any pharmacy questions. I feel like a live video would be pretty cool, so that way I can like literally like see your questions as they come out. But I've been a little hesitant in doing it because it's a little awkward, because it's like I could have a live video and then like one person on there like with no questions, and I'll be like, that's awkward. But I might like just come up with some questions to answer for you guys, whether it's about pharmacy school or just my faith or just life or just being a 23-year-old Christian, like just, you know, answer questions about that. So as always, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. You can comment below or you can email me at behismasterpiece@gmail.com. That's pretty much it. And as always, be his masterpiece. Bye everyone. If you've emailed me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I know. I haven't been checking my emails like that, and I'm sorry, because sometimes it's I don't know, it's just hard because sometimes like I don't get any questions, so I don't log into that account, and then I log in, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's been a question here from like 3 weeks ago. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.